Hello, hello. Oh, come on. Okay, all right. Thank you all for coming and welcome to Nava's 2025 Open Source Summit. My name is Rohan Bhobe. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Nava. And I know everybody's schedules are busy, so I really do appreciate people taking the time out of their day to attend. We have a series of great talks today. We have some exciting announcements to make, and I hope everybody gets a chance to stay for the conversations and the connections and some of the fun this evening. So for those of you that may be unfamiliar with Nava, we're a public benefit corporation that was founded just over 10 years ago with the goal of making government services simple and effective for everyone. Looking around this room, I know that many of you know firsthand that a mission like that is easy to say, but not necessarily easy to do. But that's why I'm thankful for all of you, the technologists, the civil servants, the policymakers, and other leaders who are showing up and working hard to make sure that all of our efforts on the technology side ladder back with a strong through line to what, at the end of the day, people actually need. Since Nava was founded in 2025, we've now helped over 50 million households access critical benefits, saved decades of caseworker and call center labor time, helped agencies successfully disperse billions of dollars to eligible people in need, and we've worked with state and federal government agencies for over 10 years now on big, complex delivery challenges. Everything from implementing new legislation, to fixing emergencies, to untangling the messy hairballs of deep backlogs and legacy systems. After helping to fix healthcare.gov in 2013, to helping respond to the global pandemic in 2020, we're no stranger to the pressure and the constraints and the difficulty of this work. And this year, after HR 1 was passed into law in July, it seemed to me as if we had encountered a moment in time in which all of Nava's experience needed to be brought to bear. We heard from state partners who felt squeezed by impossible schedules, exorbitant quotes from their incumbent vendors, some reaching into 9 figures, and a generally exhausting set of constraints that prevent rapid and effective delivery. We listened and we leaned in hard, unpacking the timelines and the changes necessary in programs like Medicaid and SNAP. And even though today we're right in the middle of this moment of massive change, and the future is still uncertain, one of the things I know from firsthand experience over the last decade is that these pressure cooker moments are excellent opportunities to flip the script. These are the times to be bold and to ship difficult, necessary, long-term change. At Nava, we're committed to working in the open and sharing our progress with you as we go. We believe that working this way increases delivery quality and promotes accountability, and releasing software open source allows our clients and our partners to own their roadmap, to own their priorities, to own their code, to own their data, and therefore own their destiny. So today, we're going to talk about a different way forward, one built not on replacing today's lock-in with tomorrow's lock-in, but on transparency, accountability, shared progress that is fast and effective. A way forward that allows government to own its mission and not to rent it back from an outside outsourced provider. I've been doing this for 12 years now, and quite frankly, I am tired of cleaning up after legacy vendors, tweaking legacy systems, and then rationalizing why we should accept unacceptably low standards for service delivery. System failures like people spending weeks calling state hotlines dozens and dozens of times, hearing the same message over and over. Your application is still processing, because there's no other way to know the status of your application or what steps to take next. Caseworkers literally waiting 10 years for the vendor to implement a feature like being able to see a claimant's payment history. That's a real example. 10 years for that feature. I've seen the old services company playbook where time is poured into more and more activity, and huge teams work to check all the boxes except the important one, that the software works and it works for the people that need it. Where big box consultants treat the natural iteration and change and adaptation of software delivery as opportunities to negotiate contract modifications or change orders. And we see the story being sold in a new wrapper, where if government just buys and configures the right SaaS product to run the whole program, the inefficiency disappears and it just works. It's a nice story, it's a neat story, but in practice, not in year one, but in decade one, what we see is throttled access to public data, ballooning costs once lock-in is achieved, government losing control over the product roadmap and the product priorities, and Frankenstein architectures and Frankenstein operations that hack around the limitations of the product. So how do we break these patterns? How do we strike out confidently in a more effective delivery direction where needs get met, guaranteed, full stop, rapidly, and at scale? Is it even possible, or are we just doomed to live in a world of legacy vendors, legacy systems, and outsourced proprietary software? I believe open source is an important part of the way forward, a way forward that is both more effective and more efficient at shipping the outcomes people actually need, that allows government to use both custom code and SaaS products together in ways that are fit to purpose, a way forward that promotes vendor competition in the sunshine and not vendor lock-in and poor quality in the shadows, and doesn't charge the taxpayer over and over for the same value. So today, you're going to hear about several open source initiatives that we at Nava believe start to flip this script and start to advance a new way forward. The first is our recent announcement of Oscar. Oscar is a new nationwide offering that we've launched to build an open source solution that supports all states in meeting specific HR1 requirements for Medicaid and SNAP. The second, I'm thrilled to share with you and announce today, is the launch of Nava Strata. Strata is a gold standard target architecture and suite of open source tools that gives government agencies everything they need to run a modern service. Strata combines our best practices and lessons learned from over a decade of successful delivery. And instead of a proprietary approach that tries to capture all the value for the vendor who built it, Strata returns the value to the broader community so that it can compound. And at Nava, we are not afraid of competition. We encourage it, we promote it. It makes us better, it makes us stronger as a company and as a community that cares about concrete outcomes and concrete results. That's why we're not afraid to release Strata to everyone, including our competitors, so that we can all raise our game on behalf of the government and ultimately the end users and beneficiaries that we're here to serve. And last but not least is our philanthropically funded work under Nava Labs, all of which is open sourced, including our AI-enabled tools supporting caseworkers. With strong open source solutions and a talented community behind them, we have a real shot at breaking the vicious cycle that we've all seen play out over the decades, where legacy systems, vendors over-promising and under-delivering, and a lack of competition conspire together to deliver poor results at great public expense. I'll now turn it over to Ed Mullen, who's going to kick off our keynote by sharing more about Oscar. Thank you again, everyone, for being here today. I really appreciate it. And I really do believe that we can blaze this trail, and that is because of you. Thank you.